Hey, welcome back to the Junius Maltby channel. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being here. I know how much you enjoy watching the little visual aids, the infographics that are put out by the visual capitalist. I also very much enjoy these. I'm a visual person, and they're kind of a stunning way to look at how precious metals are compared to certain measurements, certain debts, certain amounts or values of money. So let's jump right into this one. This one's actually silver specific, and I think many of you will enjoy it. This was put out by the Visual Capitalist in collaboration with Texas Precious Metals. So we've got 13 stunning visualizations here of silver, putting global debt into perspective. So buckle up for the end of the video because it gets very surprising, and there's going to be some fun stuff to talk about and look at here. If you're an average U.S. person, this is your average U.S. paycheck. As a solid silver cube, $2,355, 129 ounces of silver. Average U.S. paycheck, sitting on a table next to some keys, a wallet, and some change. There's a little vault containing the median family savings as a solid silver cube. That's $5,000, the median family savings on average, containing about 274 ounces of silver. So if you are a stacker out there and you hold over 274 ounces of silver, you hold more than the average median family's savings, and you hold it in actual physical silver, just like the picture we see here. We hear a lot about the COMEX, Commodities Exchange Market, and different delivery bars and what that represents. Well, here's one contract, one silver delivery bar on the COMEX representing 1,000 ounces of silver. So next time you're trying to picture what 1,000 ounces of silver looks like or is, it's much smaller than you think. It's just a small little brick sitting on a table with a couple of coins next to it. Very small indeed. There's 1,000 ounces of silver representing $18,270. As you're most likely aware, this infographic was put together when silver was obviously $18.27 an ounce. Here we see the average household debt as a solid silver cube sitting on a table next to the instigators of debt, a couple of credit cards. There's $98,312 worth of silver. So I guess the average household owes almost $100,000 in debt. But there it is, $98,312 in silver, which is 5,381 ounces of silver. So imagine if you owed some institution, some bank, some financial firm. You owed them. You were in debt to them. Slavery. You were enslaved to them until you could come up with 5,381 ounces of silver. That's 5 1/3 of those bars we saw. 5 COMEX bars. 5,000 ounces of silver. That would be difficult for most people to extinguish such a level of debt, in my opinion. Here we've got a Lamborghini Aventador. Beautiful lime green car. Not really something I would be interested in purchasing. But this car, I guess, runs $402,995. It's a $400,000 car. So if you were to trade that car, let's say you didn't want it, you'd prefer to have the silver cube instead, if you had the cash, or if you won some prize somewhere and they say, hey, you can pick between the Lamborghini Aventador, or you can pick this cube sitting here on the ground next to it, made of solid 999 fine silver, and the cube contains 22,058 troy ounces of silver. One of them will be here in 1,000 years and still hold value. The other will be a rusted heap buried in a scrapyard or recycled somewhere. And that one being the car. So the silver would definitely hold value. I'm not a big fan of vehicles, just never have been. Here we go. We've got $1 million as a solid silver cube. So if you had a corner in your house where you could store $1 million cube of silver, that's what it would look like, sitting there on the floor next to a table with $1 million in cash. That cube would weigh and contain 54,735 ounces of silver. Impressive. Now let's say you go out in your garage, you're cleaning up, you're doing your spring cleaning, it is springtime, you're sweeping up, putting your tools away, getting ready to do some yard work, and lo and behold, you discover stashed in the corner of your garage this large metallic cube. There it is. It's all of the silver mined in a single day here on planet Earth. A daily global silver production as a solid silver cube. It would be worth around $44,377,000, or exactly it would be worth $44,377,830, and it would contain and weigh 2,429,000 ounces. 2,429,000 ounces of silver. So that's 2,429 COMEX contracts. So every day, 2,429 contracts worth of silver are extracted and produced. Here we have the average Silver Eagle sales as a solid silver cube. So on average from 2000 to 2007, and then again on average Silver Eagle sales from 2009 to 2016. You can see the representations there. And if you'll notice, there's an obvious increase in demand for Silver Eagles that took place in the latter half there. So from 2000 to 2007, it looks like $171,372,600 worth of Silver Eagles were in demand per year. And then it representing around 9,380,000 ounces of silver per year in demand. That dramatically increased from 2009 to 2016. We see that $728,973,000 worth of silver, or 39,900,000 ounces of silver were in demand on a yearly basis then. Many of you are familiar with the Hunt brothers, who tried to corner the silver market by buying up all the silver they could. Well, they were able to compile a stockpile of around 200 million ounces of silver, and that represented here $3,654,000,000 worth of silver. So there you can see it. The Hunt brothers stockpile dwarfing the two smaller cubes there, which represent each of those time periods that were average Silver Eagle sales that we just discussed. Moving on, we see the annual global silver production. So all the silver mined in a year, that's all the silver mined in a year, would, if it was sitting on the 50-yard line, would not even make it to the 30. It would make it to right about the 45-yard line. So it would measure about 15 yards per side and weigh approximately 886,700,854 ounces. The valuation would be approximately $16,200,024,595. So just rounding it there, we could say $16 billion worth of silver at the current price is extracted and produced a year. Just under 900 million ounces of silver. Now this is the market cap of JP Morgan. That's a solid silver cube. Market cap being the entire valuation of the company known as JP Morgan. This does not represent all the silver that JP Morgan supposedly claims to hold contracts to. This is the market cap, the valuation of the company, the bank, the financial institution, JP Morgan. Apparently they're valued at $323,470,000,000. Now if you took the whole company, you sold everything, all the computers, employees, their shoes, their coats, the entire value of JP Morgan would translate into roughly 17,704,980,843 ounces of silver. So there's the JP Morgan giant cube, their entire valuation sitting next to the annual global silver production. So try to remember the orders these go in, because I tend to forget as I go through these slides and they start comparing cubes to other cubes. There's the entire Fed's balance sheet. So look at that. That's the Federal Reserve. There's their balance sheet, $4.47 trillion, containing 244,592,227,696 ounces of silver. The entire Fed, dwarfing JP Morgan, absolutely dwarfing the yearly production of silver, which is the cube that's kind of in the shadow of both the JP Morgan and the Fed balance sheet cube there. The one that's only 15 yards per side. So keep that as a reference point, the yearly production of silver, just under 1 million ounces. Now let's go up again here. This is the most frightening of these slides. This is the world sovereign debt. This just goes to show you how worthless fiat currency is, debt, and the entire game that they're playing, this little economic card game paper, mirage, smoke and mirrors, debt, all the little conversations that they like to have, and as they play make-believe and pretend like they know what they're doing. So we're seeing here a giant cube, very large, the World Sovereign Debt Cube, with the Statue of Liberty perched upon it as if it was a little toy figurine. Now this cube represents 63, again, 63.33 trillion, that's trillion with a T, dollars, US dollars. And it would contain 3.46 trillion ounces of silver. That's trillion with a T ounces of silver. So 3,460,000,000,000. 3,460,000,000,000 ounces of silver. That's the world sovereign debt, dwarfing the Fed balance sheet, which dwarfs the valuation of JP Morgan. And then that next little cube, the 15-yard cube there, below the JP Morgan cube, is the yearly production in silver. Interesting visualizations. Makes you wonder how they're able to make it all work. The next little interesting point that I wanted to bring up as we discuss this is the silver delivery bar, the 1,000-ounce or the COMEX bar. And the reason for that is you guys out there, this channel community, the Junius Maltby group here, all of us, as we acquired the coin recently, the channel coin that we all worked on, well, we actually surpassed around 510 of those coins sold. So that's 510 or so ounces of silver. That would be this bar cut almost directly in half. So half of a COMEX delivery bar. Half of 1,500 ounces of silver we've consumed and we've turned into Junius Maltby rounds. Not a whole lot as it would relate to some of these other images. We've done our part to consume about half of a COMEX contract. Now they are going to be minting again next week, this coming week, to fill all the orders that have come in after that first run of about 500. There's been orders since then, so it will be interesting to see what that number eventually reaches. I'd love to see it reach 1,000 just for the fact. I think it'd be fun to be able to tell ourselves that yes, we consumed a COMEX contract together. We took one COMEX contract, one silver delivery bar out of circulation, and now it's chopped up, stamped, and struck with the channel image here and dispersed around the world, held in each individual's little stack and vault and cubby. All right, hope this was entertaining for you guys. I always find these visualizations, these aids, fun. It's an enjoyable exercise to put these together and share them with you. So smash the thumbs up button if you like it. If you don't like it and you're a basement denizen that likes to digest their own boogers, that's fine. Smash the thumb down button. I know you guys are out there, and it's always fun to know that you're coming around just to smash that for the heck of it. So go ahead and do that if that suits your fancy. And thanks for stopping by. Thanks for being part of the channel. Always appreciate each and every one of you, as well as your contributions to this community. Thanks for being here, and stand by for more news. Stand by for more videos. There will be more shortly. All right, thanks.